I did a video yesterday about the Monte Cristo Platinum, which has Peruvian tobacco in its filler. So I figured I would go and look up some points on Peruvian tobacco. And excuse me, because I'm going to read some of this from my notes, just so I don't mess it up. Because Lord knows I probably will. You know, it says here, Peruvian tobacco is a bit of a hidden gem in the cigar world. Because honestly, you don't really hear of a whole lot of people using it. Which is strange given the history, the long history of proven, it's been proven over time, of Peruvian tobacco. And it hits every note that I like. Earthy, woodsy, spicy, undertones of cocoa and coffee, and even tropical fruit. But we all know that is subjective, which is okay. I might taste 6 things. You might taste 1. You might taste none. You might taste 12. It's all subjective, and that's okay. All that matters is you enjoy the cigar and the experience you had while you smoked it. They say here it's a very versatile leaf. It's obvious, it's used as a filler in most blends. But the Inca cigar brand, they craft Peruvian puros, and I have got to get my hands on some of those. And they say over, in Peru, the Peruvian cigars are rolled using traditional techniques passed down through generations, blending old world artistry with modern precision. Which is good that, this is always going to be it's always going to be hands-on. It's always going to be handmade. But the future is upon us. So as long as the cigars are still handmade, obviously they can put handmade product, but you're still always going to use modern technology to kind of help you along the way, whether that's in planting the seeds or the cultivation of the fields. There's going to be some bit of modern technology that is going to be used to help speed up that process. It says the tobacco has long cultural roots. It's been cultivated in Peru for thousands of years with deep ties in indigenous rituals and community life. They say there's a variety called mapacho that's still grown organically in the Amazon and used for ceremonial use. Like I said, I really like the cigar. The only tobacco I've had that has Peruvian that I'm aware of is the Monte Cristo Platinum series. But here are some notable blends that use either complete, nothing but Peruvian, or they throw some in the filler. The Avro Cinco, the Ritmo. They use a little bit of Brazil, Nicaragua, and Dominican Republic with Peruvian. So the complexity will be there. There's going to be plenty of room for it to develop. The Zeno Platinum Crown Series. Again, it combines aged Dominican and Peruvian tobacco. It's smooth yet complex experience. The Romeo and Julieta Anniversario features Peruvian filler tobaccos delivering a creamy, balanced smoke with a touch of spice. And that's what I love about cigars. Is like right now, one of my favorites, the CAO Gold Maduro. I've been talking for minutes. It's always there. It's well constructed. It's perfectly balanced, in my opinion. It's not going to kill your palate, but it's going to give you what you expect out of a Maduro cigar. But we're not here to talk about CAO, which CAO has used the Peruvian tobacco, and I believe it's in the Italia cigar, which is a very good cigar. It just goes to show that, we always hear about Nicaragua, we always hear about Honduras and Dominican Republic. We're starting to hear more about Brazil because everybody's crazy about Matafina. It just goes to show you that there's other countries out there that have very good, high quality tobacco that a lot of companies aren't quite using. The majority of what I see coming out now is the boutique line of cigars. They're not afraid to get outside the box, outside of the norm. And that's why I think from here to 2026, there is going to be a boutique cigar boom, which there needs to be. It's time for them to shine. Legacy brands will always be there because they have a cult following. But you have to realize that there are better cigars out there than what you're used to. Think outside the box and go to the boutique side. I love, there's plenty of legacy brands that I love. But there are countless boutique blends that I completely fell in love with because, one, the complexity of the cigars are unreal. They're unmatched for the price. Because a boutique brand has the testicular fortitude, because they want to be different. They want to draw you in to make a blend that will knock your socks off for under $15. That's my rant. That's my ramble. We're here about Peruvian, not boutique cigars. But as you can see, I'm very passionate about boutique cigars. I apologize for having to look at my notes a little more than I normally would, but I wanted to get it right. But if you enjoyed this at all, it's just I'm a cigar nerd. I love reading about soil composition. Anything has to do with the cultivating of the fields, the leaves, the primings. It's all stuff that I read up on a lot because I one day want to have my own cigar. Whether it's, I roll the son of a guns myself, or I tell a blender, this is what I want. Let's get it done. But eventually, in the future, that's going to happen. Now, I would like to say, I'd like to just roll my own cigars. I'd like to, but I know that is a craft that takes so much time and effort. And in my day-to-day life, I probably don't have the time to throw enough time at it. So chances are, I'll get with the blender, he'll get with his rollers and whatnot, and we'll get something figured out. But go out there and try you some, Peruvian tobacco. I'm actually going to order me those Inca cigars because they sound fantastic in my book. I like puros. There's no mistaking. You all know I love the Aladino Reserva, the Aladino Corojo, which is all Corojo. I like having a cigar that has complexity, but I also like having a spicy, I wouldn't say pungent, but earthy cigar. That's what I like the most. And sometimes it's not even the spice. I just want the earthy. I want the, the wood, whether it be like a mahogany or a cedar. That's what I like. It's like mushroom dirt. Some people say, the cigar tastes like you just lick dirt. Sometimes I kind of like that. I kind of like the pungent, earthy cigars. But anyway, please try one of those blends that I mentioned. Again, it's the Avo Cinco Ritmo, the Zeno Platinum Crown Series, and the Romeo and Julieta Anniversario, or the Inca Secret Blend, which is a Peruvian Puro, which sounds awesome to me. I'll get back to you once I get those and I smoke them. But be open-minded and try something different because you never know. You may love it. There'll be more videos to come and a podcast. And so until I see you again, I love you guys and be kind.